I'm Magnolia. Thank you for coming to my channel. What I want to teach you today is how to achieve this beautiful studded gel manicure look. I use exclusively gel, and I just want to talk briefly about why I don't use acrylic or dip. The simple conclusion that those are a lot tougher, I'll say, on the nail. They're a more intensive bond to the nail, and they can in turn be more damaging to the natural nail. I am a licensed professional. I have been for almost 5 years now. So exciting. And it's really important to me as a professional to maintain the integrity of natural nails at all times. We all want to have beautiful long nails, right? That's why we're doing tip extensions anyway. So if you maintain the integrity of your natural nail, your nails will be healthier and be able to grow stronger, quicker. So without further ado, let's get on to it.
Before we get started, I just wanted to go through some of the essentials that you'll need to complete today's application. The materials needed for this application include alcohol, 100% acetone, cotton rounds, a double-sided file, a buffer, a cuticle pusher as well as cuticle oil, nail tips, primer, tip adhesive, gel polish including your base coat, top coat, and color coatings, loose gems for our design, an LED or UV light, tip cutters, and a brush for getting off the dust.
Before I get started, what I usually do is put on either a YouTube video or a TV show. So that's what I'm going to do now. And go ahead and file the natural nails.
Once you've filed your nails to your desired shape, you'll then want to measure a nail tip for each finger. Here I'm showing a nail tip that is too large and hanging off. And here I show an appropriate fitting nail tip. If a tip does not fit perfectly, choose a size larger and file the sides lightly. It is better to have one a little too big and file to shape it than too small.
I'm going to be using a metal cuticle pusher today, but an orange wood stick or a plastic pusher would work just as well. We've got our little portable snake light.
And then we're going to go ahead and start out with our 100% acetone. Get your cotton round and then put some of that acetone on the round. We're going to be working one finger at a time, so just dehydrate your first finger. After you've dehydrated your first finger, the next step is to prime. Now you see me using two different primers here, starting with the young nails that I'm using now, and then next going into the artistic nails with their primer as well. This isn't necessary to double up on primers, but make sure you are using a good primer. This is crucial to make sure that your manicure is lasting as long as possible. And now you'll see me grabbing the tip adhesive, and we're going to go ahead and start the actual application process.
And this stuff is really sticky. It's kind of tricky to work with, so it definitely takes some practice. But we want to push onto the nail, start about midway, and then push back along the cuticle really softly. We don't want too much product, but we want to make sure there is enough for the tip to stick on, all right? And then I'm going to scrape the brush to get a little excess off, and then I'm going back in to cap off the nail to make sure all that product got all the way to the edge, all right? And then we're going to grab the tip, start from the cuticle, stick the tip in where you need it, and then roll it down the nail. Make sure it's completely adhered to the nail, and go ahead and stick it in the light. I'm going to do another one slowly so that you guys can see the whole thing. All right, so we're starting out with our acetone, right? Grab your pad, We want to dehydrate the nail. Get in there, kind of push the cuticle back. Get it good and clean. We go in with our Young Nails Protein Bond first. Cover the nail. Back in with the Gel X Tip Primer. And then finally we're going in with the tip adhesive. Starting a little bit forward and then pushing it back along the cuticle and dragging the extra product towards the free edge. Again, you want to make sure that you cover the whole nail and it is generously thick, but not too thick that it will spill out. And again, this takes a lot of practice. Don't feel bad if you get some air bubbles, all right? And then we start at the back, keep it down, and we'll cure that in the light. And make sure you hold it really tight along the nail. And then you just cure this under the light for at least 30 seconds. All right, and there we go. We've got 2 tips on so far. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and do all the rest of my nails, and then we'll move on to the next step.
When all the nail tips have been applied and cured properly, go ahead and grab the tip cutters and start cutting the nails to your desired length. Make sure to leave them a little longer than you want them in the end. That way you can still file them. You also want to make sure that you compare the sizes of the nails to each hand so they're all the same length.
Okay, so I went ahead and buffed out this hand. So this is what our shape is going to look like. This is what we want the final product to look like. So now we got to go ahead and we got to file this hand to match this one. So I prefer an almond shape, but you can do any shape that you want. This is just after I've cut them off. This is what they look like, and then you want to make sure that you buff the top to get the shine off of the nail. I'm going to do this hand, and you guys can watch.
Sorry about the bad camera angle here, but again, I'm just filing my one hand to match the shape of the other one. When you've achieved your desired shape on both hands, then you want to start going in with your acetone and dehydrating all of the nails on that hand. Next, we're going to take our base coat. Today, I'm using CND Polish. You want to completely cover the entire nail plate on each finger and cap each nail. After that's cured, move on to your first color coat. The colored polish I'm using here is Satin Slippers, again by CND Shellac. You can use any brand of gel polish that you desire, but for this design, it really looks the best when you have a nude or almost translucent background. So as you saw, I went ahead and painted the first color coat, cured that in the light, and am now painting the second color coat. However, I do not cure the second color coat. Instead, I am sticking the diamonds directly into the polish so that when I go to cure the polish, those diamonds will be solidified to the nail. I recommend using tweezers. They're just a lot easier to manipulate the diamonds. if a diamond has been slightly misplaced, you can use the tweezers and push the diamond to where you need it to be, and then fill in the hole it might have created with that color coat again. So after you've placed all your diamonds and cured that second color coat, go ahead and apply your top coat. Make sure that you're going over the diamonds lightly, but filling in the gap around the diamonds very well with the top coat. And again, cap each nail and go ahead and cure that in the light. Okay, and we're just about wrapped up here. So one of the final steps is we're going to go ahead and take some alcohol, get your second cotton pad wet with the alcohol, and then rub each nail vigorously to remove that whole inhibition layer, get that whole tackiness off of there. And then we're going to go into some CND solar oil, which is just a cuticle oil, and rehydrate the cuticle and begin the re-strengthening process. Rub that in really good. And voila, we have a beautiful studded gel manicure.
Okay, that is everything for today. I hope you guys learned something. I hope that I explained it well enough. I absolutely am obsessed with this manicure. I mean, I think it's one of my favorites just because it was super easy to execute. There wasn't a lot of time that went into putting the studs on. You just slap them on. And I think it is worth mentioning too that these are the studs that I used in the video, and I got these off of Shein. They were like 50 cents or $1 or something. I will have it linked in the description along with all the other products that I used today, just in case anybody wanted to check them out. Little disclaimer, some of the products I used might be exclusive to professionals and they might not be available to you. So I'll also include some alternatives that are available on Amazon that I think are basically just as good as the professional. So if you guys learned something today, I really would like it if you could drop a comment, tell me what you liked, tell me what you learned, and if you made it all the way to the end of the video, please give me a thumbs up. I do feel like it is worth mentioning. This is my very first published YouTube video. I put a lot of my work into it, a lot of heart, and I feel like I definitely learned some stuff, and I will try to get better in the next video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye!